Hey there, I'm just adjusting my settings here. Oh, we already have 3 people. Good morning, everybody. It's 11 o'clock here. It's Eastern time. It's the new time. I'm adjusted. Gio is not adjusted. He keeps getting up at like 6 in the morning. I just want to get organized here, make sure I have everything. Oh, there were 3 people. Now there's 1 person. What the heck? Rude. Okay, so we are talking 2020 goals, plans, strategies. Everyone calls them something different. Everybody does something different. And I'm going to do something different this year for 2020 than I've done before. I love making lists. I love making goals. I can make plans in my sleep till the cows come home. And what I find is that I make them because this is what I want to do, right? I'm super ambitious. I want to make these goals. I'm going to do X amount of dollars per month. I'm going to sell X amount of items, all the normal stuff that we're thinking about right now as we plan. And what I'm finding is, hi there, fabulous style, welcome in. So what I find, I may actually just try to get it all out instead of getting hi, welcome to everybody. I get distracted. So I'm doing something different in that my main focus, there's 2 main things that I'm doing differently. One, I'm not necessarily making, there might be a couple. I'm not necessarily making goals. Some things are strategies. Some things are goals. Some things are to-dos. It's just a mishmash of things. So I'm calling it my master plan. And it's just a lot of different things. Some things that I can just check off and know that it's done. Some things I'm going to have to work towards. Some things are a daily set of things. And really what it's all coming down to is that the plans that I've made in the past were never tied to time because I never felt like I was in control of my time as a stay-at-home mom. Now that Gio is in school and I have 3 half days, where he's at school, there's a day where my husband takes him so that they can have some quality time and I can get some things done. And then next school year, he's going to be in VPK, which will still be in 2020, but not this school year. And he'll be 5 half days. So I'm coming up on where I feel like I am in a little bit more control of my time and I can block out certain things. And so you can't make a goal that's not tied back to your time. So my big theme this year is making sure that I'm making goals and I'm stretching myself and whatever, but that I'm also tying it back to actual time. So if I can't find a block of time, then that thing can't happen and be a part of my goals. So if I say I'm going to do 100 items, if I can't find the time to do 100 items of photography or whatever, or listing, then that can't be my goal. And so that's what I've really been working on. And so what I'm going to do is kind of jump around a little bit, but share with you kind of what I've been setting up for myself. It's still a little bit in flux. Like I'm mostly settled with it. I spent about 3 hours on this and there's like lots and lots of pages, but we won't go over all of it. And so I'll share everything that I'm doing. Then I would really like to see what your feedback is on what I'm doing. Like, am I crazy? Do you think this is possible? Do you think it's not possible? Do you think I should tweak some things? And then I definitely want to hear what you guys are working on because I always like to see what people are challenging themselves with also. So I'll let you guys like put all that stuff in. I'll get out all of mine and then I can go back into the chat and we can do that. So let me find a good place to start. Okay. And I do think I'm going to do a separate video. I just haven't really got my thoughts together on it and it may not be alive. I don't know, but a separate video on what's gone on this year. So this is going to all be about 2020. It's not going to really reference anything from this year. It's too much for one video. So right now this is annual sales for next year, my goal. So this is a goal. Annual sales next year, $65,000. And it's less than my goal that I had for myself this year, but I'm not going to hit the goal that I had for this year. And so I'll talk about that in a future video. So my annual sales goal is $65,000. Now, what I'd like for that to be is $60,000 from reselling and 5,000 of it from other income streams. I'm really getting to the point where I need to build up other income streams that are more enjoyable, creative, less time consuming, scalable, work when I'm not working. Like there's just so many attractive things about other revenue streams as opposed to reselling that I will always resell, I think, but I need to really make the balance of them more equal. And so I'm going to really start working toward that and building in time for my other revenue streams. If you don't know what those are, we'll talk about them a little bit here, but I also did a video last week or the week before all about all of those other income streams. But those will a little bit be covered here. So, from the $65,000, I'd like to take home a salary because I have employees, I have storage, and I have a lot of expenses and things, which would be different for some of you perhaps. And so when I say this number, you're like, really? Like, that's it? But for me, there's just a lot that goes into it. So at this point, I'd like to take home a salary of $12,000. I'd like to put about $6,000 in like a tax fund, and I'd like to put about $6,000 in a business fund. And so that's how I'm breaking up, that amount, because all the rest of it then is going to go to expenses, and I'll break it down a little bit more. So I'm going to check this off and say that I covered that, because I think there's some more things I want to go over, but not in this order. Some milestones that I'm looking forward to hitting for 2020. As far as reselling goes, is going to be, I should be able to be hitting my selling 10,000 items on Poshmark, probably hit my 5 this year. And then I'd like to sell, hit my selling 10,000 items specifically on Poshmark next year. I haven't been really good at tracking overall, so I have to go back and look at that. I should hit 500 reviews on Mercari next year. I should hit $1,000 on $100,000 sold on Poshmark next year. I would like to hit 2.5 or 2,500 YouTube subscribers. So right now I'm at about 1,300. I don't know. Last time I didn't make any YouTube goals for myself, and I'll talk about it in my YouTube section. But so just as far as like overarching milestones, things that I should hit during the month or during the year. It's not maybe you could call it a goal. I like to call it a milestone because I'm not like actively doing things to find subscribers. I'm not actively doing things to hit a certain amount of reviews on Mercari. It's just a milestone that I will likely reach given the pace of what's going on. And I feel like those are opportunities to celebrate all of your hard work. And so I like tracking milestones. So 2,500 YouTube subscribers. It's a stretch, but I'll probably hit 10,000 Instagram followers this year. I'd really like to. So then I'm hoping that next year I would hit about 25,000 followers on Instagram. And the numbers of those things really aren't that important to me. But again, I think it's a nice opportunity to celebrate. And so I want to put it out there at the beginning so that I know to be paying attention to it, because I think it's like a nice giveaway opportunity. I think it's nice to celebrate, again, with the community and myself and either the subscribers or the followers and things like that. So I'm also going to look up, because I don't pay attention to it, like how many views I have on YouTube. I'll make a viewer, like how many views I get. I think I'm at, I don't even know. I don't look at it. So I'm going to write that down. So I'm going to make a milestone for views as well. So that's that. Okay. So breaking down the reselling component as far as like what's going into it. I'd like to do $60,000. So that breaks down to $5,000 a month, which is again, less than the goal that I had for myself this year. But since I'm trying to transition, not from reselling completely to other forms of income, but a portion of it, I have to expect that my reselling income would go down. So $5,000 a month from reselling is less than a lot of the months that I did this year, but not all of the months. So I think that that's a good happy medium. And that would break down to $167 per day that I need to do in gross sales. And I think that's totally doable because my goal this year, based on my goals this year for daily, was 300. And I have hit it a couple of times, but more often than not, I didn't. So I felt like I needed to make something that was more achievable. while still allowing me to transition into some of these other forms of income. So $167, and that would be across all reselling platforms. I'm going to focus on doing 10 listings per day, which would be about 300 a month. And that's on par with my average right now. My average right now for this year is about 12 because I was trying to shoot for 20. So like, that's the thing. Like I always make bigger goals than I can achieve. And I feel like this year I need to make things that are doable, things that I can actually accomplish in the time that I'm allotting myself. And I'll show that in a second where all this time is coming from. And it's more of a, yes, I'm accomplishing it. Yes, I'm tracking it, than a let's put a pie in the sky thing. I have a lot of those ideas. I want to do a lot of those goals, but it really makes me upset when I don't hit them. So I think I need to be realistic more this year. Also, at this time, I am not going to sell on eBay for next year. I'm still thinking about it. And it doesn't mean that for the entire year of 2020, I won't sell on eBay, but I'm really over it, like beyond over it. And I'm reading a book and I'm going to probably do a video about it where I would go into more specifics, but I've read a few from this guy and it's just honing in and focusing your efforts. And while I do want to have multiple streams of income, because I feel like that's the only way that I can kind of cobble together a proper salary, I also need to be mindful of within reselling, where do I need to focus my efforts? And Poshmark and Mercari are easy. They're easy. I don't have to worry about it. They're less time consuming for me, for all the things that I have my photographer do, all the things that I have my lister do. Like there's just so many things about eBay that really just don't work with me right now. If I had all the time in the world, perhaps I would be pandering to eBay and doing more things that would make more sense. But at this time, I don't think that I can manage an eBay store the way I want to. I'm getting good sales from it, but I'm not getting great sales from it. And so when I add up all of the time and effort that goes into maintaining eBay, yes, it's profitable, but is that profit worth it? And what could I do with that time and effort and energy and mental whatever in another point? So what I'm saying at this point is that starting in January, possibly a little bit before, which I'll talk about in a second, I'm going to just do Poshmark and Mercari. And what I'll do is downgrade my eBay store and put the idea of it on hold. And so I won't actively list anything on there until I feel like I can be hitting my goals, making strides with all of the changes that I'm going to be outlining here, because there's a lot. And once I'm in a good flow, I can revisit the idea of putting certain items on eBay. That way I know that if the returns happen, if the shenanigans happen, I'm only putting items on there that are not your run-of-the-mill $10 item or $15 item or nonsense, but it's a legit $30 item or a $50 item or something where it's worth it to take advantage of all of the traffic there, because there are benefits to eBay, of course, but I just can't do it anymore. I need a break from eBay. So that's that. I'm going to be focusing on a $20 average sale price, which I always say that, but I never actually strategically source that way. And I need to do that because I spend so much time and effort removing items, clearancing items, doing lots of things once they've entered my machine that I have to be more disciplined on the front end. This business is never going to work with me and the people that help me if I can't do the best job by being super disciplined on the front end. So for sourcing, I need to really focus on $20 plus items for an average sale. Then I'm going to utilize my consignment stores locally more for quick selling. And so maybe I'll do a separate video on that specifically, but I'm looking to make like a certain percentage of my money by going there twice a month and selling back items, either that haven't sold or I got at the bins that I'm going to try to sell there for a quick profit without actually putting them online. So there'll be more to come on that. And then I'm going to continue my quarterly clearance sale that I do where I sell everything for $1 just to get rid of things. And that's worked really well. And I was going to get rid of it and I decided to keep it because it's also a way for me to promote the local closet clear out where I get people to sell me their stuff. And so it's a nice way to build trust with people in the community because they actually physically meet me, understand what I do, and are more willing to let me pick up their items and look at them if I can talk with them in person. So I feel like I always get a lot of referrals from that event. And so I'm going to keep that for those two purposes. So that's just some overall for the reselling. Now, my reselling monthly budget based on $5,000 in sales, about $1,500 is going to go to fees and shipping. About $1,000 is going to be for my salary. About $500 or so is going to go to my virtual assistant. About $500 is going to go to my tax account. About $500 is going to go into inventory. About $500 is going to go to supplies. And about $500 is going to go to the business fund. Now, this is what I'd like to do. This is what I'm hoping to do. This is the goal amount. It may not work out this way in the very beginning, but this is what I'm working on. And this is what I'd like to try to keep as consistently as possible throughout 2020. On expenses specifically, I have a video that I recorded that's coming out in the next week about how to plan out your expenses for the year and budget accordingly and analyze what you've done, what you're planning on doing. And I went through that whole process, so I'm not going to talk about that now, but there's a whole video specifically on it. What I'd like to do if I have anything extra in here is to put it to kind of like local help. One of the changes here is that I won't be moving forward with my photographer. It's still a possibility that that could change, but at this point, I think she and I have come to terms and we'll have a finalizing conversation about it. So I think that I will be taking all of my photography, prepping, packing the items, all the photos, everything's coming back to me. That's fine. And I'll talk about that as far as time, where the time is going. But so if I do want to have any on-hand local help, I have one of Gio's friends' moms that would be interested in helping me a little bit. So when I have extra money, I'll have her help me. And for all of the hard work and continued reliability and effort of my virtual assistant that's been with me now, it'll be coming up on 2 years, I would like to institute a small bonus structure for her. I haven't exactly figured it all out yet, but when I have some extra money, kind of like a profit distribution, I would like to cut her in a small way. I mean, I'm not giving her thousands of dollars, but in a small way. I think it would strengthen our bond. And I think she's very dedicated to my business, but I think it will in certain areas solidify her attention a little bit more and her effort a little bit more, not because she's doing anything bad at all, but I think it will help her feel more connected to the particular work that she's doing. So I don't have that completely lined out yet, but I would like to use extra money that I have for that. So on a per item basis, because I always feel like this is important for me to look at, and I don't know if this would be helpful for anyone here, but if I was doing 10 a day and I was looking for an average sale of $20, about $6 is going to go to fees, about $3.33 is going to go to my salary, $1.72 is going to go to my VA, $1.67 to tax, $1.67 to inventory, $1.62 to supplies, $1.67 to the business fund. So the total expenses for a $20 sale come to $18, and then profit would be $2. Now, when I say profit, I've already accounted for my salary. I've already accounted for tax and business fund, etc. So now in this book that I'm reading, it's called Profit First. And it's just kind of a new way of looking at the funds in your business. And I'm super into it. And I'm almost finished with the audiobook. And then I kind of want to do a whole video about it. But the idea is to account for all of these things, but also to account for actual profit, where you can then issue it as a distribution to yourself for rewarding yourself for being a business owner. And it's kind of like, I don't know that we look at it like that for reselling. So again, I'm going to do a separate thing on it, but that's how it would break down per item. And for me, when I'm picking up an item, I think it would really help me to have a lot of these costs and this breakdown committed to my actual memory when I'm looking at an item. I mean, again, I'm not picking up Old Navy, and if you do, that's fine. I'm not judging. For me and the way my system is working these days, like if I pick up an Old Navy, which I don't, but just for example's sake, like this would never this could never come out of an Old Navy item. Maybe it's not going to come out of a Loft item, and maybe it's not going to come out of, another brand. So I have to really fine tune and focus in on this sourcing and knowing where the money's going and where the money's coming from. And if I'm paying $1 for it, that doesn't mean that it's going to sell for whatever. Doesn't mean it's ever going to sell. And if it does, am I going to be able to take all of these allotments out of it? So again, this is an exercise for me. And if it's something that would be helpful to you, I hope that you get something out of it. Okay. I'm not going to go through, I kind of lined out here how I'm going to be changing my virtual assistant's position. The main gist of it is that I'd actually like to move toward a once per month pay period or twice per month pay period, where basically she's more of on salary, and these are her job description, these are her job duties, and she gets a salary. And I used to pay everything piecemeal. I feel like we've gotten to a point where we can trust each other. And as long as she's doing my 10 listings per day, I don't see why I need to pay her per listing anymore. I can just say, I'm going to give you X amount of dollars per month or twice a month or whatever. You just need to do 10 listings a day and XYZ. So we don't need to talk about that right now. Perhaps if you're interested, leave a comment, let me know. I can do a separate video about moving your VA from a per item basis to a salary basis, or all the changes that I'm making to her job description. For my inventory sources, I'm fine tuning. I'm making adjustments. So I'm going to go to the bins once or twice a week. It's mostly going to be once a week. And that's going to be hard because, if that one day is terrible, life's going to suck a little bit. But I just can't justify the time and effort and tools that it takes to go there to sometimes only stay for a few hours. I feel like I need to go one day or 2 days and make the day of it and really make the use of my time that way. We'll see how that works. I'm only going to go to Goodwill Retail when I have points to spend from my loyalty that I earn at the bins. So that way I'm not ever really spending full price at the Goodwill Retail. I'm just using points. And so it's free. I'm going to continue my local closet clear out and the airport lost luggage and just some other local deals that I can work out like that. I think that I'd like to grow my local closet clear out a little bit more. I've been getting good stuff that way. I just need to focus a little bit more effort. And I feel like those things sell a little bit better. And it's easy because it's in my local area. So I'd like to bolster that a little bit and then purchase at consignment clearance sales as well, but only of a higher value because I get trapped there too. So those are the inventory sources I'm going to focus on. I don't really think I'm going to do a lot of garage sales. I don't feel like I get that much from it. And I feel like it's a lot of time and effort going around. And I just don't think it's worth my time that much for reselling clothing purposes. I have sourcing guidelines, which if we have time, I can go over those specifically. But it's basically no more this, focus on this, that type of thing. So either that's going to be a separate video or we'll talk about it at the end. So that's a lot of the reselling stuff. Now I'll just kind of quickly, I have a lot less per thing to go through the other streams of income. Then maybe we'll talk about what you guys have. And then I can go back to the time commitments because I think that might be helpful, especially for the reselling moms that are here. Because I know sometimes, even though it's the Reseller Mom Show, we have others that are not reselling moms, which is cool. And you're welcome to be here. But I think that might be something that would be worth it for everyone as well. So YouTube. So last year I started YouTube February, Valentine's Day. And the only goal I made for myself at that point was to get monetized by my birthday, which is coming up this month, which I did. I got monetized 2 months ago. So, or a month, whatever. So I hit that goal. So that was great. I didn't want to put too much pressure on too many things, because I feel like with YouTube, I didn't know how it was going to go. I didn't know if even people were going to be receptive to the idea of a reseller mom show. And I feel like I've kind of hit a stride now with, who comes and watches, who talks to me on Instagram, who comments on videos, what I'm trying to put out there and what my place is in the reselling YouTube community. Like, you probably shouldn't come to me for fantastic hauls. Like, I just don't do those. Like, I don't have those. I don't do those. It's not fun for me. It's not comfortable for me. I don't get that great of stuff. And it's awkward for me to do hauls. So I've kind of made my peace with that. This is not going to be a haul channel. Like, go watch, Nicole State or Street Savvy or Nick Thriftsy or like all these other people that have great hauls. There's so many. And, they find better stuff and they're better at doing a haul. And maybe in the future, when I have more time, I will challenge myself to do more hauls or better hauls, but I just don't want to do that. So for me this year for YouTube, what I have decided is that while I love it, like, I love it. I love being connected with reselling moms, having the Reseller Momversation show. Like, I love that whole chat. I love that whole interview. I think it's awesome. I love when people enjoy meeting all of these other reselling moms that I have on there. I'm just so happy that I started this channel and that it has become exactly what I hoped it would be. And even though it's not big and, like going to ever be 100,000 subscribers or anything, it gives me an outlet and a way to connect and a way to better myself as a reseller. And along that way, I have specific things that I can share. And the feedback that I've gotten from generally a lot of people that choose to leave comments has been really positive. And that makes me happy and feel like it's worth doing. At the same time, it's so time consuming. And even though I love it, because there's so many challenges and new things to learn and new things to do, like, I have to make more money. Like, I just have to make more money because this isn't ever comparing to the job that I left. And I'm getting, the deal that I had with my husband was, by the time Gio goes to kindergarten, which is like, I need to be making a full-time living at whatever I choose to do, which is this, or I need to go get my happy butt a job. And I don't think that I need to make as much as I did. I think that's more of like a personal vanity thing. Like, my husband's salary clearly, obviously can cover. We're very lucky. We're very blessed. Like, it's fine. But for my own pride, I'd like to make as much as I was for our own future earning potential or whatever, for retirement's sake, God forbid. But like, even if I made half, but had all the flexibility that I have now, I think that's worth it too. So I just need to make sure that in this next year or two, this is solid. Like, this is solidified as my own little job, my own little business that can be reliably earning certain amounts of money. And again, I'm not going to get into all of where I'm coming from. I'm just going to talk about 2020 for now. We can have a separate conversation about that. So for YouTube, it'd be nice to make about $100 a month in the AdSense, and that's what you make from the ads that play on the channel. I haven't hit that yet. I haven't even hit that yet cumulatively. So just to give you an idea. So, I've been doing 5 shows a week for quite some time, and that's the doing it and the editing and the uploading and figuring out tags and the promoting it on Instagram. And I'm not complaining. I love all of it. It's teaching me such great skills and I'm enjoying it, but I have to justify it at the same time, because I always think about how many items could I have listed today, or how many items could I have go and, today is a geo-free day. I could have been at the bins right now. So, but I enjoy this. So there's a balance. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to make $100 a month in AdSense. That's a pie in the sky thing. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I'm just making it up. I haven't had enough monetization track record to know what I can or can't make with the channel. So we'll see. But if you're going to put something on, you're going to binge watch something, binge watch my channel. So 2 shows a week. I'm going to go down to 2 shows a week for a period of time. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to utilize YouTube as a reward for hitting my other goals. So I'm going to do 2 shows a week, and those are going to be the What Sold Fast videos that I do on Sundays, and they're going to be the Momversations that I do on Saturdays. And I may change when they're going to be, but I think that those are the best that I can offer right now, because What Sold Fast, people are coming and watching them. They get a lot of views. I think it's very helpful for people, and it's also very helpful for myself to do that review of what has sold. And I think that's making me a better seller. So it's a 2-pronged thing there. With Momversations, I really enjoy those conversations. I really enjoy chatting with other moms, and I think that that's the whole reason why I started the channel to begin with. So I think those 2 as pillar content, regularly, weekly, will be what I do going forward. Then when I hit my goals and I'm doing well on all the other money fronts, then I can throw in like a tips video, or I could throw in a closet review video, or I can, throw in all of these other videos that are like bonus. So I am doing 5 shows. I'm going to continue that until I transition down to the 2, and that'll be sometime between now and the end of the year, so that once January comes, I'm like ready to go with the 2 shows. And if I can now, maybe I'll record some extra ones so that at the beginning of the year, I'll have a few extra to go up. But I'm just kind of letting you know that I need to scale back a little bit on the YouTube. I'm not going anywhere. I'm keeping it going. Please don't unsubscribe or go anywhere. Keep coming back. But I have to be mindful of my time and what I'm doing. So Instagram, I've been doing 3 posts a day. I'm going to go down to 1 post a day. Because it is time consuming to come up with stuff, because some days there's nothing really post worthy, but I feel like it's now become a tool to where if you're not continually posting, you lose everything that you worked for. And I noticed that with the cruise. I noticed it a couple of other times in the past where I had taken some time off. And so I feel like I need to stay consistent with it in order to keep a presence in the community. But I just don't want to do 3 a day anymore. If I have some bonus ones, great, but I need to make parameters and a box for myself to operate in, to feel good about what I'm doing. So that's what I'm doing. And then if I do extra, then that's great. I'm going to do 1 post today on Instagram, and I'm going to try to do more stories. I always say that, but I really do need to do more stories because I really feel like that's where it's at. And if I hit my 10,000 followers this year and I get the swipe up, and I've said it before, I'm so excited because it's like this big rite of passage to get a swipe up. But I really don't know what I'm even going to do with the freaking swipe up. I guess I'm going to post links to my videos and links to the Etsy store where all of my products are. But I don't know. It'll open up some fun learning because there's all kinds of things you can do with it. I have no idea what they are. So there's that. And I feel like that might help make up for not being on YouTube, because I could do more vlog style with the stories with less involvement. I can just pop on and do a story versus having to upload and make it's just a whole thing. So, okay. YouTuber problems. So the other income streams that I have are print on demand. I've talked about this in that other income streams video. If you're not familiar with what that is, there's lots of different ways you can do print on demand, but the idea is that you put a design on something, but you don't physically have it. And when someone orders that mug or that t-shirt or that hat with your design on it, you get a royalty or some sort of payment, and the fulfillment company sends it out to the person. And so I don't have all these t-shirts in my house. I don't have them in my storage unit. I don't have all these mugs, but I sell them all the time on, I made a sale on Mercari, on things like Etsy and Amazon. So I did it for a while. I started back on that journey in September of 2017 and did it kind of hardcore-ish for a little while. And then I really decided to focus more on reselling and put it away. Well, even though I put it away and didn't upload not one design to Merch by Amazon or to Etsy that was new, everything was just on there from before, I still make a couple $100s a month off of the designs that I have. And that's been great. And that's really just been needling me, if only I could put effort into print on demand again. If only I could throw up some more designs that even have half the success as those, I could double or triple that amount of passive income that comes in. And it's not really passive because obviously I did the work before, but it's passive now because I haven't uploaded a design in over a year. So I need to put more effort into that. I'm making time commitments. I'm going to share that with you of how I'm doing it. So basically making print on demand more of a priority, kind of taking part of what the YouTube was. And that's a creative outlet for me as well. And so it'll be good to get back to designing. And I'm not a designer. When I say designing, I mean coming up with interesting words and then finding like free images and kind of making it look like it's nothing special. But some of them sell. So I'd like to at least do one quality design on Amazon per week. And focusing that design before, it was all about putting up designs, volume. Now I'm going to focus on a good design and how I can get that design to sell. Because with Amazon, once you have a design that sells, it's never going to go away. It can sell again and again. It moves up in the ranking. And once you get a review on it, it even moves up in the ranking more. And I've been out of the print on demand community for a while. I used to watch a lot of YouTubers and follow a lot of Instagram people. Haven't been paying much attention to it. So I need to get back into that a little bit and kind of reset my knowledge because I'm sure so many things have changed. But I'd like to try to make $400 a month just from Amazon alone. And I'd like to put up at least one design. I'm starting with a small goal. I would ultimately like it to be way more. But if I'm going to slowly transition from lessening my reselling volume and upping my print on demand volume, I need to start small and incrementally build it to where it will snowball in revenue based on my front end work. So that's kind of like reselling down, print on demand up, something like that. Then in connecting with YouTube, I made all these products and put them on Etsy. And I've been promoting it a little bit. Hopefully I haven't been promoting it too much because I don't want to be that salesy person. But I think that the feedback I've gotten from them have been good. They're things that people are interested in. I'm just like a systems process person. And so if I make something and I think it would be helpful to someone that perhaps would not think of that idea or would benefit from it, but don't know how to make it, like, I think that there's no problem with making a product and having it available to other resellers. I know everybody gets all crazy sometimes about resellers selling their information. I don't sell my information. I'm here for free. I'm talking to you. It doesn't cost you anything to talk to me when I'm doing my videos or to leave me comments. I answer them all. But if I made something and you're going to use that something, I don't think it would kill anybody to pay me for the thing that I made. Like, I don't think that that's unreasonable. And it's not like I'm charging $1 million. Like, everything's under 15 bucks. So I'd like to sell more of those things because that's also like print on demand, where I make it once and it can sell multiple times to multiple people. It's a product. It's not a thrifted item that I had to go dig in a bin to find and steam the thing and take pictures of the thing. Like, there's just so much time and effort. Like, when you compare reselling to some of these other forms of income, it's just mind-boggling how I got myself into this pickle with reselling. I really just don't know because it's just so much time. So I'd like to try to make about $300 a month from my Reseller Mom Show Etsy store, where I've had all of these products. It's the ebook on how to do a local closet clear out. It's the goal tracker, the listing forms, the virtual assistant, job description bundle. So all of that stuff. I recently put up a closet review listing. So I'm going to be doing paid closet reviews. I've done 3 for free now. One's already up. The other one is going up, and hopefully the other one will get approved to go up. I'd like to possibly do some consulting. I have to put some information out about that. And then the rest would be like these downloadable products, like the goal tracker, like these listing form bundles. So I'd like to put some time and effort into making those items, making them available, and promoting them, and having that be another way to help and connect that offsets from doing the actual YouTube video. And it doesn't mean that I don't want to do the YouTube videos, because I really do. And I have a list a mile long of videos to do. So I really hope that I can get everything else lined up so that I can do more YouTube videos. So like I said, I'm scaling back to 2, but I want to do more. So if I can get everything else going well, then I can do more as a reward. But so those are the other income streams for now. I have some personal goals and I have some like vision things. We'll see about that. We don't need to talk about that right now. So let me look at the chat. We'll go over that. And then I'm going to go through the time commitment portion of how I'm kind of like breaking all of this down into like actual scheduling and making sure that all of these crazy ideas that I have are accounted for in a real way that we can do it. So sorry, that was like way too much talking. So let me go through the chat here. If you have any comments or questions, start putting them in. So by the time I work my way down, I will see it. Do you ever just need a nap or get a chance to take? Rhonda, I know, my God. So yes, I take naps sometimes. I used to take them more. Lately, I used to get up at 4 and go to bed at 10. And that's when I would work in the morning. But then I started saying, like, this is crazy. I can't do this anymore. And I would take a nap in the middle of the day, and when Gio took naps. And then I was getting worried that Gio wasn't going to take naps anymore. So I'm like, I can't be needing a nap, and then he's not napping. Like, this is never going to work. So I tried to train myself off of naps during the day, but Gio's still kind of taking them. So I'm in a position where I'm getting up a little bit later, not taking a nap during the middle of the day, and I'm actually feeling pretty okay. I'm just really hyper right now because you guys are here and it's alive and whatever. But like earlier today, like I was just quiet. Like I didn't even have any TV on or anything in the background. Like I was just like working on the computer, and it was kind of quiet and I wasn't so hyper, but it's just the nature of what's going on. Sorry. Balance. Yes. Please don't stop reselling. We need you. I appreciate that. And I don't want to stop reselling. I mean, if you asked me, do I love reselling? I would say no. Like, I don't love reselling. I don't love going to bins, digging through bins, sifting through nonsense, and taking pictures of other people's clothes. Like, I don't love that. I don't love fashion. I don't particularly care, but I love figuring stuff out. Like, I love that I created all of these systems and all of the shenanigans that I have in this reselling room and all of this YouTube and I made all that from nothing. And I love that. Like, I love creating that kind of stuff and systems. And I love that if I find this really cool item and I know that it's a cool item and I know that it's going to sell, and when it does sell, it makes me money, and it happened while I was sleeping from the work that I did before, I love that too. Like that money-making process and sales process of doing the work over here, but having it happen later when I'm at Disney, I love that. So that's why print on demand and those kinds of things are very attractive to me, because you can get that same feeling and that same payoff without digging through a goddamn bin, like, you know, or doing all of this other very like, I have more IKEA bags in my life than I have probably personal clothes in my closet. Like it's just too much. Like, it's just too much. So I don't know. I'm going to end up crying talking about it because it does get very overwhelming. But I like what has come about because of reselling. And so that's cool. And I'll always keep doing it because now I know how. So if I can just scale it back to where I'm just doing like awesomeness of it and not the daily grind of it, where I'm just like, oh, I know that's the St. John piece. I know if I pick up that one piece and sit on it, it will sell for a bunch of money. Like, and I went to the bins like once a month for fun. Like, that would be great, but that's not my life right now. So anyway, Land Shark Picker, good morning. I love putting milestones on your goals for the year. Yeah, I mean, this is a very mishmash of stuff. I recognize it's not a very coherent goal strategy, but for me, I think of different things in different ways. And so like a monetary goal, like that's a goal. But then the things that lead up to making that monetary goal, those are like tasks. And so Like I need it in more of like a list format that I can check off or something that I can do on a daily basis. So it is what it is. But milestones I like because like you can just say like, I'd like to hit this number. And if it happens, it happens. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But it's likely to happen in this year just based off of how I'm tracking some of these things. So I feel like it's just such a nice opportunity to celebrate and like take stock of what you're doing, especially with the number of items sold. Like it just blows my mind that on Poshmark alone, because again, I have eBay, I have Mercari, I had Kiddies in for a while. I've sold things locally. Like I've probably already sold 10,000 things. Like I think that's cool. Good morning. So is that 10 listings 7 days a week? Yes. 10 listings 7 days a week. I'll go over my time thing here to show you how I'm going to get it done. But I've fluctuated anywhere from 5 per day to 20 per day. And that's with me and the photographer doing items, with just the photographer doing items, with just me doing items. So I'm going to do 10 a day just by myself. I think that's doable and solid. If I ever do more, great, but I really don't want to. I want the 10 to be a good 10 so that the extra time that I have can get focused on these other revenue streams, building those up, because that's where I feel like I have the more potential of time freedom. If that makes sense. I really need to get back on Mercari. Yes, I think you should. I mean, I do think it took until I had over 100 reviews or sales on there and listing consistently to really see weekly benefits. Like on average, I'm doing 1 to 2 a day on Mercari. I haven't seen much more than that, so I don't know what's going on there. But for the most part, I'm selling 1 or 2 a day, and I'm happy with that because you never know where something's going to sell. I'm just happy it sells. So I think it's worth it. And also I'm not doing the cross posting. so it's my VA that does it. And so it's not my own effort. Hi, Rebecca. So fun. You are live. Yay. Oh, hey. Hi, Quimby. Good morning to all the hard hustling, beautiful mamas this morning. Yes, absolutely. Hi, everyone. I'm Quimby Grateful Queen. I was on our Momversations. Yep. And that just went live this weekend. So, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yes, please hit the like button. If you don't mind, that would be awesome. I had a great time with her. And, it's just, I love doing those. And that's why I don't want to stop that series. Great ideas, Rebecca. You were doing an awesome job for your target community. Thank you. I appreciate it. LOL. Yay. Keep the Momversations. I love that you are so real. Period. Okay. Sorry. I didn't know if there was more or not. Thank you. Yes. Well, it's real. It's nothing but real over here. I just don't know any other way to be. And I just I think that there's room in the YouTube community for all of it. I do. I think you need aspirational channels. I think you need people that do more of this kind of selling and that kind of platform and this kind of sourcing. Like, I think you need all of it because we're all different and our businesses are so different that you might be a viewer of me and dig me and then also Rally Roots for a different reason, even though we are both very different kinds of channels. And then, I feel like my people are like Daily Refinement. When Luke was selling, Luke from Endless Entrepreneurs, like those are my people. Like we're process people. We're very like listy, systemy people. And so, there's that. And then there's like the Poshmark girls that they're not moms. They have a nice YouTube channel. They show you all their hauls of all their designer things. And it's so nice, isn't it? And so there's a value in that for sure. It's just, I watch it for the haul, but I don't necessarily connect to those particular YouTubers from like a life perspective. So I think there's room for all of us. Let's see what everybody's saying. And then I'll talk about the time commitments. So maybe another stream for you would be to consult others in their process of their reselling business. This could help you scale back eventually since you love creating processes and details. That is exactly it. K Harris 1224. Yes. So, and then I'll skip over Deb for a second. I am a big picture person, so watching your videos helps me think through some of my own processes. And that's the thing. Like what I figured out was that I thought I was making this for people that are like me, because those are going to be the people that would dig me. But honestly, I feel like there's and I don't know this, but probably more people that are not like me watching it, but can stomach me because like I'm thinking of things in a way that they don't. And so that's like an aha thing for them because their brain works a little bit differently. And that's what I'm finding is that like we all handle our business so differently that like you could totally benefit from someone else. You know, if every reseller had a YouTube channel, I mean, yes, that would be a lot, but like we'd all collectively do better because everybody would be sharing their secrets and, you know, it would make sense. I mean, obviously not everyone will vibe with everyone else, but I just think there would be so much tremendous benefit to that. And I've benefited so much from watching all of these YouTubers. And sometimes I don't even benefit right away or from the exact thing that they're saying, but it kind of like sparks something that makes me think of something else that I can improve on. And I feel like that's what a lot of my tips videos probably could help with is like, maybe you're not going to do it exactly the harebrained way that I'm doing it, but you might get something out of it that you could take into your own system. So anyway, back to the consulting thing. That's what I have written down here, but I haven't formulated the plan yet, of course, and I need a plan. But just like I'm doing the closet reviews, it started from someone in a live saying, hey, would you review my closet? And I was kind of weird about it, but I did it and I loved it. Then I did 2 more for free. And then I said, you know what, like just based off the feedback that they gave me, and because it is time consuming, but I do like it, it would be a nice way to make a little extra money if other people were interested in what I had to say and how they can improve their closet. And so I put that listing up on Etsy. No one's bought it yet. That's okay. It's fine. But like, you know, and I haven't really done a whole video on that specifically yet, but if that was a way to make money and I could do a couple of those a month, I think that would be great because it would pay for my time in a different way than actually YouTube does, because obviously you're not making like $25 an hour from YouTube AdSense, or at least this little channel is not. But the consulting thing, I think that my way to help would be for a mom that's looking to kind of make the systems, figure out if she should hire a VA, figure out how to hire a VA, figure out how to hire a local photographer, like kind of the business systems and strategies. But there's just so much out there that you don't know what is going to work for you. And since I have tried a lot of different variety, like especially with an inventory system, let's say, I've tried them all now. And then I just put out like my video that was like best inventory system ever. Like I'm married to this inventory system. I'm not changing it for quite some time. So like, cause it's a lot of time and effort to do that. And if you could save somebody all those steps and all that money in setting up these systems, like I think that would be valuable on the front end. So I do think that there's things that I can offer. I'd be calling it momsultations. I know I have to. So it'll be momsultations. It'll probably be like $25 for an hour. So I don't know, I have to figure it out. But so that is possibly coming. So if anybody's interested, DM me. And I'll probably do maybe 1 or 2 for free to start it and see how a process would go. So if somebody's interested in that and being a guinea pig, you can let me know on that too. So thank you. So back to Deb. Quemby loved your conversation. We'll make sure I hit the like. I'm also glad she's keeping the conversations. They're so interesting, seeing how everyone got started and their systems and overall story. So I just realized this now. Am I not supposed to be reading all the chat comments, or am I just supposed to be reading the questions? I mean, obviously it's my channel. I could do whatever I want, but I just realized that because I'm like, you guys are talking amongst yourselves. Like it's not even really to me, but I don't know, but I'm going to read them. That's the same with that. Okay. Hi, Rebecca. I truly appreciate your videos and live streams. I've learned so much from you. You're my listing buddy. Yeah, I love that. Like I love that. And because I don't do the listing a lot / at all, because I'm very lucky to have my VA. I don't have that. A lot of people do that. I listen to stuff more when I'm taking photos or when I'm in the car going places or when I'm at the bins. That's usually my time to like when I need my YouTube buddies. So it's funny. I always have your channel on when I'm photographing and listing. Thank you. I appreciate that. I will miss the lives. So maybe during the month we can post questions or a topic and then could discuss those things people have posted. So how would that work? Wait, just an idea. I will maybe during the month We can post questions or a topic, and then we could just discuss those things. People like make a live, but don't actually go live and have a chat. Or do you mean somewhere else, Deb, if you don't mind? Because I would do that. I just don't know. I don't know how that would. I struggle sometimes with, I don't want more platforms. Like I'm fine with just doing YouTube and Instagram. But sometimes I feel like Instagram is not really the place to have conversations. And then YouTube is, but there's always so much involved with that. I was like, I really don't want to make a Facebook group, like because it's just one more thing to have to manage. But sometimes I feel like at least with Facebook, you can kind of have more of a discussion. So maybe I'll add that to my rewards. And if I do a really good job and hit all my goals, I can make a Facebook group, because I just can't even. But let's see. How many items do you have active on Mercari, and how do you choose? So everything goes on Mercari. Everything goes on Mercari. Everything goes on eBay. Everything goes on Poshmark right now. It all gets cross-posted to all 3 places by the glorious VA. Going forward, everything will go on to Poshmark and Mercari, everything, because I only really do clothing, and so it all can. And because they're free to list, there's no store subscription. So that's why I decided to, yes, put everything both on Poshmark and Mercari. Mercari, I will still offer free shipping. Poshmark, obviously the shipping is the way it is. Everything will go on both places. It'll probably get bumped up a little bit on Mercari to accommodate the free shipping, but not like dollar for dollar. I have to work that out. But I think that when and if I can bring eBay back into the mix. So right now I'm going to start off 2020 with no eBay, just do Poshmark and Mercari, see how that all goes. And then if I think I can bring eBay back in either by necessity because I can't afford not to have those sales, it could go one way, or because I'm doing so well that now I can afford to handle the headaches, there, then I would add it back in. But I think with eBay, at least for now, I will only do bigger ticket items, something that is more worth it to put all the extra effort that goes into having the store, managing the listings, setting up sales, tinkering around and revising. The listing process is longer, and I pay my VA more for that listing versus Poshmark and Mercari. So at dealing with returns, all of that. So I feel like, yes, everything on Poshmark and Mercari, and then when and if some things on eBay. And we'll see how, again, this is what I'm thinking. This is the plan. I would really like to stick to it and have some serious consistency for the next year, because this past year I've done a lot of changes sporadically, and I need to create a system that I can stick with for a year and only incrementally change it based on like results. So that's kind of what I'm going to try. Good question. I added the app. That is as far as I have gotten. I do my listings in bulk. I spend one day doing like 50 and then release the listings 5 or 10 a day. So I have consistency. Yep, that's good. Do you think not having eBay will affect your? Yeah, it's going to affect my total sales. It totally is, because when I un-eBayed the last time, it's not the first time I've done it. When I un-eBayed the last time, everything was a lot smaller. But when I un-eBayed the last time, I took a major hit because I was putting everything on both. And at that time, I had equal sales within a few $100s every single month. However, what has happened over the last year in 2019 is in the first half of the year, I did free shipping. The second half of the year, I did not free shipping on eBay. And I had worked out all these numbers to where even if my sales went down overall, my profit was going to go up because of charging for the shipping and just the things that I was putting on there and stuff. And I think that if I were to go back to eBay, I would go back to do free shipping. I'm pretty well set on that. So that's what would be a part of it at that point. But I don't know, it's 12 o'clock, but it scared the crap out of me. But I don't know if I just don't think I'm going to run eBay the same way. I feel like I've become like a slave to it, and having to list every day, which I do plan on listing every day, but the way you have to ship out the items within certain business times, and I'm just really over it. And so I think it's going to take a hit on my sales, but if my overall goal is to lessen reselling in general so that I can build up my work portfolio and income on these other revenue streams, then that's okay, because all of the less work and less cost that goes along with those sales that come on eBay, hopefully will all work itself out. I mean, that's kind of my thinking, is that I'm paying $60 a month just to have this store. I'm paying extra money to just have extra listings beyond that store. I'm paying 50 cents a listing versus 25 cents a listing to have my VA do an eBay listing versus the others. I'm going in and spending my time retinkering with listings and revising and then every time they have a major issue, I've got to go back and fix stuff like the return, like there's just too much time and effort. Also, weighing every single item. So I think that I could get at least another 5 or 10 items done when I do my bulk photography session, just by not weighing the items, because on Poshmark, I don't need to weigh the items. And Mercari, I could weigh it when it sells. So if it fits in my normal, this guy, it's going to either be first class or it's going to be a padded flat rate. That's it. So I already know what those shipping costs are going to be. And I kind of know that if it's in here, it's a clothing item, it's not going to be more than 2 pounds. It's going to either be in the under 1 pound or the 1 to 3 pound on Mercari. So I can weigh it to double check and make sure when it sells. Again, I'm not selling that many on Mercari. Hopefully it will increase, but so there's just a lot of changes that are going to go hand in hand that I'm hoping will free up some mental energy, free up some headspace, free up some expenses, just a lot of that. 1 live per month. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, maybe. And like I mean, I would like to, and who knows, maybe I'll go into a total funk and depression because I don't have it, or I'm just going to miss it, or, people will say stuff. I don't know. I don't want to think too highly of, I mean, this is the most people I've had on a live ever. So it's not like they're these crazy lives, but I do enjoy it. And hopefully that will give me some motivation to be really good and hit everything. And that way I'll have them, but I will think about that for sure. So I'm going to go through the time commitments. If you have more things to put them, I want to do the time commitments so that way I can at least make that point for people that are maybe interested in shaping the way they're doing their goals that way. And then I definitely have to walk out of the house at 12:20 to get Geo. Okay. So the whole point of this was to make goals that could get walked back, or reverse engineered, everybody likes to say, to a time. And Chris at Daily Refinement, I love his channel. I love him. I totally dig how he does everything. Sometimes a little kooky, but clearly so am I. And so he always says you should put stuff in your schedule. It doesn't exist unless it's on your calendar, all of that. And I'm always yeah, easy for you to say, Chris, because you don't have any kids and you don't get my schedule, haha. There is no schedule, but there is now. So I need to stop wallowing in my own mom self-pity and put on my big girl panties and say yes, you do have a schedule. You are in charge of your time to a degree. You have to be more flexible. Sure. But I get Monday, I get Wednesday, I get Friday, I get 3 to 4 hours. I can spend that time how I want when he's at school. My husband watches him on Thursday so I can go to the bins. I am able to carve out time in the morning when I'm up before everybody else is awake. I'm able to carve up time, later on in the day. Sometimes I get stuff done while Gio's playing Darth Vader or whatever cockamamie thing he's doing. So I am in charge of my time to a degree. And so I needed to make sure that everything that I want to do is now plugged in somewhere. So it's not a specific time schedule, but it's at least a daily schedule with certain commitments. So overall, I'd like for 1/3 of my time to be spent on Mom Roar Boutique, which is the reselling, 1/3 of my time to be spent on the Reseller Mom Show, which is YouTube and the Etsy store and Instagram. And then 1/3 of my time to be spent on print on demand, which is merch by Amazon and my print on demand Etsy store. And so in the morning and during naps, I'm going to kind of reserve that time for print on demand. And I'm going to just kind of leave it blank. Like, I'm not going to say specific things that I'm going to do because I haven't really worked on that in quite some time. So I don't know what my system and flow is going to be for that yet, about how many designs, and is one day going to be designing and one day is going to be uploading or what. So I'm just going to kind of leave that open for right now and just say, like, morning time when I wake up before anybody is awake and I do my work, I'm going to do my normal checking my accounts, checking off, all my normal things that I would do when you first wake up, like a morning routine for work stuff. But on top of that, like when I usually say, like, this is my time for an extra project, which used to be something reselling related, now it's going to be print on demand related so that I can prioritize that a little bit more. So then on Sundays, I'm going to work on my What Sold Fast video because that comes out on Sundays. And so I have to wait. Can't do it on Saturday because it goes through Saturday. And then I do everything in the morning on Sunday to prep the video, record it when Gio and my husband are having their daddy time. And that's going to be my priority for Sunday. And I'm also going to photograph 70 items on Sunday. So I tested myself this past weekend on Sunday, and I didn't do 70, but I did 46. If I can do 46, I can do 70. And so that's my 10 a day. And I only have to do photographs once a week. Because lately I've been doing like a handful a day, and I'm getting sick of that because every day you have to do photos. So I'm going to do the batch again because I won't have my photographer's batch to rely on. Like mine that I would do 5 or 10 a day were just bonus. And I always had my batch for my photographer. Now I won't have that. So I'm going to do 70 on Sundays. So maybe we'll start some challenges together or something. I'm sure Sunday is probably not an ideal day for everybody to do it, but Saturday and Sunday, my husband works. So it's a normal day for me, which is why I can do certain things on Sunday. If I have 500 points on my Goodwill loyalty, I will go to the Goodwill retail because that's somewhere I can bring Gio. I don't bring Gio to the bins, but I can bring Gio to the Goodwill retail. And if I only have 500 points, that's only going to be like $15 to spend. So I could be in and out of there in a half an hour, but at least I can get a couple good pieces. And I'm only going to do it when I have at least 500 points so that it won't even be every Sunday. Then I have a lot of like personal things that I have to do, clean out the fridge, laundry, things like that. So that's all that. And let me know, because I struggle with like ever sharing too much like momming stuff, but the way I am for my business is kind of the way I am for like over systematize, make a list for everything. So if anybody's interested like in those kinds of momming things, let me know, but probably not. I don't want to tank my channel by thinking I'm, Martha Stewart or something. So, time, but I am going to do a supplies inventory on Sunday. So supplies inventory happens on Sunday. Monday, I'm going to record my Momversations video. Right now, Mondays are usually my YouTube days for recording Momversations as well as others, and then the Momversations airs on Saturdays. I like having a little bit of lead time. So I'm still going to record Momversations, and I'm going to do any YouTube prep that I need to when Gio's at school on a Monday. That's also going to be my day to do any administrative tasks, financial tasks, and anything related to my Amazon affiliates, because I have the Reseller Mom Show Amazon store where I put like the Dymo, the bags I use, the scale I got, all that stuff. And I make maybe $5 in a month on that. I don't push it a whole lot, and maybe in the future I will. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but I forget to add things when I find them or figure them out. So I need to like put it on a list. So on Monday, if I have any products to add to my Reseller Mom Show store on Amazon, that's when I'll do it. So that's like Reseller Mom Show time. And then I have personal things. And then on Tuesday is going to try to be off. And when I say off, I don't really know what that's going to mean because it hasn't happened before. So it's going to be, Tuesdays are always errand day. With me and Gio, we do the dry cleaning, we go pick up the groceries and all that stuff. But I want it to be more of like a random catch-all day. So if there was something that I didn't get to, I could do it, but more for personal things than work things. Like I'm really trying to take Tuesday off from working things. Like maybe in the morning I would just do some stuff before everybody's up, but then like once everybody's up, it's like a home projects, purge thing, like just be a mom and a house person that day. So, and do play dates for Gio. And then Wednesday, when Gio's at school, that'll be a 4-hour block of time to do print on demand. So designing, uploading, looking at my catalog of products, all that stuff. On the days that I have to go and pick up my airport lost luggage auctions, that usually takes up the whole time frame. So that would be once a month, pending that I win something. So I'm going to do that. And while I'm in the car, I'm going to have executive time. So I know there was like a whole, I'm not going to talk about any politics or anything, but I know there was a whole thing with Trump about his executive time, and that's where I got like the name from it, but I'm not going to do it like he's doing it. So it's going to be separate. It's going to be Rebecca's executive time. And because right now I listen to like podcasts or YouTube videos or audiobooks during that drive, and that's fine. But I feel like whenever I have a moment of peace, sound wise, like not Gio running around yelling all the time, I fill it with a podcast, an audiobook, a YouTube person or something. I don't just spend time like pondering. So I need some like pondering, visionary executive time, because one, it'll probably get me into a lot of trouble because I'll come up with cockamamie ideas that I'll never do, or I'll try to do and that'll mess up my whole plan. But I need that time. I need that time to just think about what could be instead of always thinking about what's right in front of me. And I think when I do that, it kind of refreshes me a little bit. And if you don't do that, I think you should do it. You should do it. So that's that. And then other personal stuff. And then also on Wednesday, I'm going to go through my phone and delete stuff. Pictures of old clothes, apps I don't use. Like that's going to be my phone purge day. If you don't have a phone purge day, you should work it into your schedule, because these phones, there's too much. I do too much on it and it's getting junked up like my life. And so I need to purge my phone like I need to purge my closet. Thursday is going to be my bins day, because that's usually the day that my husband is off from work and he goes and does fun things with Gio. So Thursday is going to be my bins day. Friday, Gio is also in school, and that's going to be the day that I work on Reseller Mom Show products. So whether it's doing closet reviews or the momsultations or coming up with a new ebook or a new tracker or a new product, and mostly it's not coming up with things, but it's adapting what I already have made for myself so that someone else could use it. That's basically what I've been doing now, is like everything that I've shared for the most part, I'm using it, it's mine, and I just need to make it so that someone else could buy it. So I'm going to spend that time on that so that I could really get that store and that revenue stream going. And if I feel like I'm on track with that and I don't have any new products to add or anything, then I would also use that. Or if I'm stuck with inventory and I really need inventory, I will go to the bins the second time. So that would be my second bins day if I need it. On Saturday, I'm going to go sell back items to the consignment stores. I'm not going to do it every Saturday. It's probably going to be every other Saturday, because the whole thing start to finish is about a 3-hour thing. Like by the time I drive, wait for them to review everything, then drive to the next one, wait for them to review everything and get home. And with Gio, it takes a little bit longer. It depends on how many bins I have. So, but every time I go, I still make a couple $100. So it is worth it to do. If at some point it becomes unmanageable and I'm losing track where I need time, that will probably be one of the things to go. But right now I'm going to keep it built in. And then skill building. So in my old life as a working person, I was an event planner and a hospitality salesperson for Orlando. And so during that time and right before, while I was pregnant with Gio, I went and got my certification for meeting professional. So I'm a certified meeting professional, CMP. And that designation or certification is going to expire it's 5 years long. And so in 2 years, it's going to expire. I have to do all my continuing education, which luckily I can do online. And so I need to start doing it for that. But I thought, you know what? I should do other skill building. And even though I'm learning stuff all the time, whether it's something for YouTube or something for Instagram or something for reselling, I feel like I should build in like skill building. So that's going to be the day that I do on Saturday, like when we're home, some of my continuing education for my CMP. And then like if I come up with a skill, like how to figure out the swipe up, what the hell to do with that? Or, you know, like stories. People have such cool things that or boomerang. Like I don't even know how to use the boomerang. Like it's so easy. I'm sure it's so easy, but I don't get it. And so these are things that you need to know in this world. I don't know why, but I feel like it would behoove me to build up my social media skills, because that's what I've been doing now since I've been not really working, right? And I'm a stay-at-home mom and I'm reselling, and that's not going to get me anywhere. But the social media skills that I've developed that's a more marketable skill. And I did a conversations with Denali El Ducho, and we talked about in the future possibly doing a video about all the transferable skills that you get from reselling. Should you not want to be a reseller anymore and you want to go into the working world, what can you transition as far as skills go? So I definitely want to do that with her at some point, just as a backup, because you just never know what goes on. You want to hedge your bets. So Saturdays for skill building. And it's a purge day for all sorts of random things. Like the reselling room gets crazy. Gio's toys get crazy. So it's going to be, my closet gets crazy. So it's going to be a purge day. So I'm going to have to go in a couple of minutes. So if anybody has any stuff that you want to put in, I'm going to look at that. The other thing I will say is that's how I timed everything in. So basically everything I talked about as far as all my goals and plans is in here somewhere. Like I've budgeted a time commitment, 3-hour block when Gio's at school, or, an hour block when it's the morning time, or an hour block when Gio naps, or whatever it is for each of the things that I'm trying to accomplish. It's not specific, like I will do this thing on this day at this time, but at least everything's accounted for. And I think if you're not doing that with your goals, you're doing yourself a disservice, because you're saying I'm going to do this thing, but you have no idea when and how you're going to do it. And I think that if you build in the when and how, you're more likely to do it, and you're setting yourself up for more success. So I would definitely encourage you to build in some sort of time tracking commitment for all of your goals. So the only things that I didn't really go over, where'd it go, is I did make a 2019 loose ends list, which I'm not going to go over because there's way too many things and there's just detail stuff. But for your goal planning, once you make your 2020, if you're making major shifts, like getting rid of eBay, or if significantly increasing your listing amount, or adding in a different sourcing thing or whatever, you may want to make a list for yourself to tackle in 2019 before 2020 starts, so that when you're in 2020, you can hit the ground running with your new things and you don't have to start from scratch. Basically, like now you can prep yourself by doing all of these loose ends, get it all ready to go, figure it all out. And then once you're in 2020, you can just jam. So my mantra for 2020 is profit, 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 execute, execute, execute. I don't know why they have to be said 3 times, but it's just more impactful when you do. So, and you also have to do this when you have a mantra. So do that. And I think I'm going to save the sourcing guidelines maybe for a separate video, because that should be pretty quick and easy to do. And I think that maybe I have to see when my last live is going to be. I think next week is going to be my last live. I think I'm going to do one more live. And then the Monday after that is my birthday. And I'm so sorry to tell you, but I scheduled a massage and a facial during the time I was supposed to do a live. And so I feel like that's probably, and then the week after that is Thanksgiving. So I think it's probably next week will be the last live for, a while till I get my act together. And then I'm going to go have a massage. Okay, yes. That means I have to go. Then I'll do my massage and facial on that Monday. And then it'll be Thanksgiving and stuff. And then it's the holidays. Nobody's going to get on my lives anyway then. So we'll do another video for sourcing guidelines. The last thing, where to go, is rewards. You need to have rewards for yourself. You need to tie it to certain accomplishments. I'm going to share mine real quick, and then I'm going to go because otherwise Joe is going to feel like the leftover kid at school. If I hit my daily sales goal, which I've said is $167 a day, 5 days in a row, I'm going to make a craft. Because this lady used to love to craft. And she hasn't crafted jack shit. Yeah, monetization, jack anything until since Gio was born. I need to craft. I've been saving my Goodwill tags. Maybe I'm going to make something out of them. I save all kinds of random things and I'm going to make something. I'm going to do it because I miss that. If I hit my monthly sales goal, so that's the monthly, that's the 5,000, I'm going to buy myself a Starbucks and I'm going to do an extra YouTube video. So let's hope that I hit my monthly sales goal. Then if I exceed my profit goals, so that's my tax fund, salary, and business fund. If I exceed those by $250 in a month, I'm going to spend $50 on multiple quantity listings for my boutique. So I've purchased wholesale boutique items and I've made myself stop spending on them. So I'm going to give myself a reward and buy some multiple quantity things for the boutique if I exceed my profit. If I hit my monthly profit three profit goals, so 3 times in the month, I get a reading day where I do nothing but read. That's all I'm going to do the whole day is read. And if I hit my quarter 3 profit goals, I'll get a facial. And if I hit the year for all of my 3 profit goals, next year, I'm going to schedule my massage every 2 weeks instead of once a month. And those are my rewards. And I think you should have rewards. And I want to read all this stuff, but I got to go because Gio's going to go. So I will read this when I come back and then I will comment. I think it stays. Does it stay? Oh my God. I can't, I have to go. I'm sorry. This is the worst. So I will read it if I can. Maybe I'll take a picture of it. I don't know what to do. Oh my God. I'll put it in the comments. Is that so weird? Okay. Thank you so much for joining me on this live. I appreciate it. I just don't want to leave Gio at school. Everyone have an awesome day. Like this video on the way out. Subscribe if you haven't already. For those of you watching the replay, leave all kinds of comments. I will reply to them all. I want to read them all. And I hope everyone has an awesome, awesome day. Make your stuff for 2020 and tell me all about it. Okay. Bye.